100 star systems. This has been the holy grail for Star Citizen ever since it was originally promised all the way back in 2013. The first, and so far only star system to make it into the game, was Stanton, and this was upgraded to include landable worlds in 2017. Since then, the wait for new star systems continues, with the second ever star system, Pyro, scheduled for a potential release in 2023. 100 star systems then. It feels like it will take a million years. Yet does that even matter? And are 100 star systems really needed? In this video, I'll be attempting to answer those questions. Once the Kickstarter campaign had finished, funding continued. Regular stretch goals were released, with new content and concepts promised for each new goal. At $3 million funded, the promise for 40 star systems was made. This occurred on the 8th of November 2013. A little over a week later, a new stretch goal promised new star systems would be created for every $100,000 of crowdfunding. The promise of 100 star systems arrived on the 19th of November 2013. Now at this point, funding had reached $6 million, and clearly Chris Roberts felt the sky was the limit. What's more, backers were even offered the option to choose the types of planets and systems that would be introduced, and this was offered via a vote. Examples of such areas included water worlds, collapsed black holes, and much more. Today, this promise is reinforced every day by the existence of Star Citizen's detailed and complex star map. It shows all the alleged planned systems, stars, planets, moons, many with descriptions and other lore snippets, inspiring backers to dream of what the galaxy may one day become. Here in 2022, a single star system exists, but one that is far beyond the scope of what was originally promised back in 2012 and 2013. The game, after all, has expanded tremendously since then. Today, planets are fully landable, with the ability to walk around the surface of them. Further, players can find caves, forests, bases, and much more. The Stanton system, however, is now considered complete as of this year, so the focus has now moved upon the next star system of Pyro. Pyro was demonstrated at last year's CitizenCon, and you can see some footage of that on the screen right here, but you've probably seen much of this before. Now, the exact release date for Pyro remains unknown. It's dependent upon a new server tech, which is also awaiting release. But that said, the star system is widely expected to be released at some time in early 2023. Now what comes after that is not really known, but many suspect that it will be the Nyx star system. As you can see on the star map, Nyx is connected to Pyro. There's also some content for Nyx which already exists and which many of you would already have played in. This includes the base of Levski, as well as the planet or big asteroid of Delamar. This content was moved out of Stanton to later be placed in Nyx. Additionally, on the CIG progress tracker, it's possible to see that some work is currently being done on Nyx. Beyond Nyx is Odin. It's very likely that a lot of work has already been done on Odin's system, primarily because it is the location where Squadron 42 will be set. But Squadron 42 is another topic for another time and doesn't really give us too much in the way of information for the situation with Odin or star systems. As of today, all of this forms the bulk of the visible progress on the Star Citizen's star systems. In 2019, CIG purchased a 25% stake in development studio Turbulent. Now, Turbulent developed Star Citizen's star map that you can see they've seen in this video. Since then, Turbulent have been put to the task of creating star systems for the game. Turbulent co-founder discussed this in a Star Citizen livestream back in August of 2021. And here he said it would be impossible to create all the star systems by hand, and therefore a procedural team was created to assist with all this, to create all the artists and designers to bring these star systems to life. Now, Star Citizen is currently, and in the future, going to be heavily dependent upon procedural generation. That's not to say there won't be a lot of handcrafted content. Obviously, cities, bases, crash directs, space stations, and much more will continue to be handcrafted. but creating entire planets is not an easy feat. It's obvious that procedural generation and other tech is needed to do much of the heavy lifting. Now, as both Turbulent and CIG have said multiple times, the bulk of their work is focused on building the tools that will be used for all of this. Building tools of this nature certainly takes a lot of time and a lot of work. Both teams have confirmed this multiple times. So we all know this, it has been said enough times, but what we don't know is just how far along the development of these tools actually is. In July of 2017, Chris Roberts revealed to German gaming website GameStar that Star Citizen would launch with between 5 to 10 star systems. Of course, this was a controversial subject for many fans of the game and still remains so today. But CIG were quick to try and allay fears with the statement on their forums. They stated that Chris's statement had been lost in translation and that the scope of Star Citizen was not being reduced. The implication was clear, however. Even while CIG publicly implied they still plan on 100 star systems, today, 5 years later, only one star system exists, with the second on the way. At this point, it's impossible to truly envision just how CIG will implement all of these systems. A leading theory on this is that once Turbulent have developed the necessary tools, they will be able to pump out star systems at a rapid pace. But keep in mind that Chris Roberts has been emphatic that locations in Star Citizen won't be purely lifeless procedural locations. That whilst procedural tech will be used, handcrafted content will be essential to deliver the human touch. It seems then it's all a very long way away. Recently, Star Citizen content creator Morphologist touched on this very subject during a podcast interview with Space Tomato. Morphologist logically pointed out that if CIG were to release 3 star systems with every patch, and that if there were 4 patches a year, it would take 8 years to hit the target of 100 star systems. 8 years. Whilst it's entirely possible that Turbulent's tech will dramatically ramp up the speed at which CIG can release star systems into the game, it feels very unlikely that it would be able to reach a pace of 12 star systems per year. Unless, of course, those star systems are not as complex as Stanton or Pyro. Ultimately then, it's a difficult situation for both CIG as well as fans of the game. Clearly, progress is being made, but how do they even hit that target? 100 star systems is a very big deal. Bethesda have recently revealed that their Starfield will contain the same number, although some people certainly won't appreciate me making that comparison. Now, 100 star systems means 200 to 300 planets at the very least, plus moons. In fact, if we want to get a little more accurate, the Star Citizen Wiki states that there are 324 known planets and 74 known moons. That is a huge number of locations by any standards. So, is it even important to have that many? Well, in my opinion, yes it is, and for many different reasons. Firstly, if for no other reason, then CIG have made the promise. It was a stretch goal, and regardless of how the scope of Star Citizen has increased, 100 star systems is very much a part of what Star Citizen should be. Now, naturally, I don't want to see barren, lifeless and empty worlds in Star Citizen, but by the same token, I'm not expecting to see each and every planet and moon to be brimming with life and content. However, that said, CIG have certainly set a certain standard with Stanton. The worlds of Stanton are of an extremely high quality. What has been shown of Pyro so far appears to be of an even higher quality. This then is the yardstick by which all future planets and star systems will be measured. What's more, CIG have promised specific gameplay to be tied to many of these star systems. For example, campaigns against the many Vandal-occupied systems, which the player-organised Operation Pitchfork have been planning to invade since 2013. Further, a multitude of star systems is absolutely essential for their exploration and science ships that have already been sold, like the Carrack and the Endeavour. Now, of course, it's important to point out that science-based and exploration gameplay hasn't yet been introduced or implemented, but it seems very likely and very logical that a multitude of star systems is absolutely essential for this. So the scope of Star Citizen is very much wrapped up into the philosophy of detailed and complex environments, both in terms of the environments themselves, the identity of the game, as well as the gameplay. A life in space that is unrivaled by other games. Some might argue that 100 star systems are not needed in order to achieve this, but as far as I see it, in order for Star Citizen to truly become what it intends to become, then ultimately those 100 star systems are an absolute essential requirement. Perhaps one saving grace then is of Star Citizen's development time, how long CIG are currently taking to produce the game. It's very much a big question then how long all of this is going to take, especially with the game's ongoing development now potentially being measured in decades rather than years. That then brings us to an end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.